Good evening, everyone. If you can hear my voice and see my screen, can you please put it on the chat box? If you can hear my voice and see my screen, okay, thank you very much. All right. So you're welcome to my SQL, to the SQL class, week 5. And last week, we talked about the joinings. We talked about the joining tables together, joining different tables together. So today, if time permits, I have quite a lot of things on my mind to actually do. So firstly, we are going to write like a query for a query that is going to counts the number of the total number of employees per department, and is also going to I'm going to combine a lot of things that I've taught you together. That is combining aggregates functions together, such as average, count, maximum, minimum, and the likes, and using the group by function, using the having by. And so if time permits us, then we are going to look into case structures in SQL. And if time doesn't permit us, then by next week, we are going to have that. So let me make this announcement again. For those of you that you have registered your interest to do like a video PR for me, kindly take note that please this week, like I've sent the prototype, try to send it to me this week. So God bless you as you do that. So let's start the class. So today I want to write like a line of code, probably close to 20 lines. And as we are doing it, I will be telling you good coding practice, so that when you want to write code, they will know that yes, this person is a professional writer and is not just writing to practice alone. So like I said, you want to, for example, if you receive an email from one of your stakeholders that can I get the total number of employees per each department, and also their average salary, their maximum salary, and their minimum salary. So how do you go about that? Now, don't forget that we have these tables. We have the following tables. And so the two from the email that you received, the two columns that are needed are the department number and the department name, but they need the total number of employees in those departments. They need let me write the question down. So this is what we want to do. You receive an email that states that, can I have the, for each department number and name, can I have their total number of employees, their average salary, can I have their average average salary per department. So can I have the average salary, comma, minimum salary, comma, maximum, comma, maximum salary, so that I will teach you how you are going to reason on how you are going to do it. Now, so here, this is how you are going to, this is how you are going to receive the email. From here, how do you think? How will you know how to solve it? The first thing you have to list out is how many columns do I need to fetch out? That's the first thing you need to that's the first thing you think about. Now, from this email address, it said, can I have for each department, their department number and name, and their total number of employees, average salary, minimum, okay, their average, minimum, maximum salary per department. So here now, the first thing you need to look at is how many columns do I need? So how do you reason it out? So how many columns do I need to fetch out? How many columns do I need to fetch out? Now, the first thing here is you will notice that what was demanded here, the first thing here is what was demanded here is the department number, isn't it? The second thing that was demanded is the department name. The third thing that was demanded is the total number of employees. And the fourth thing is the average salary. Next is what? The minimum salary. And you have the what? The maximum salary. So how do you go about this? You have these tables. So when you have stated all the columns, then it is then that you are now going to look into it properly and look how you are going to solve it. So let's look at this column now, this table departments. For departments, we have department number and department name. So obviously, we are going to use department table, isn't it? It is obvious we are going to use it because we are looking for department number and we are looking for department name. So how do we link it with other tables? We are also looking for total number of employees. So let's go to employees here and let's look at the columns. So for the columns, we have employee number, birth date, first name, last name, gender, hire dates. Now, there's nothing that link both the employee number and the department number together. So we have taken note of that. Then we need the salary because we need average salary, minimum salary. So we need the salary table. So this is the salary table. Let's check out the column. The columns here are employee number, salary from date to date. That is the beginning of the date where they are collecting that salary. Now, these two, the employee table and the salary table, they have employee number that are in common. So we could use that. So how do we link the employee table to the department table? And this is where you need to look for this depth emp. Now you see the depth emp, it has the employee number and the department number. So what it means is we are first of all going to join this department table to depth emp, then join the depth emp to the employee, then join the employee to the salary table. So let's make a start. So, like I said, I want to write professionally today. Like I'm writing, if somebody is going to check the code. So make use of, it's good that sometimes it's good you make use of index. So select departments. Let me check the column properly. Department number. So like I taught you earlier last week, so you can change it as department number here, but ensure that there is no space. Ensure that there is no space in between them. You can change it like that. Then you put a comma and you draw it down. So select department number. Then again, select department name. So let's also give it another alias, which is department name. Ensure that there is no space in between. Then you put a comma. Now, how do we get the total number of employee? The total number of employee, how do we get it? From what I taught you. Can anybody put it in the chat box? How can we get the total number of employees? What can we use to get the total number of employees? What formula can we use to get the total number of employees in the organization? If you are following me, I taught you this last week. Can somebody put it on the chat box? Nobody is ready to. You want to calculate the total number of employees? No, there's a function. No, it's not sum. There's a function to calculate the total number of employees. Some of you will go and Google now. So that means you don't know it. You don't need to Google it. So that is where the count function comes in. So we make use of the count. We make use of the count function. So you say count employee number as total number, as total number of employees, comma, as total number of employees. So now we have, we want to look for average salary. If I ask you, you know that it's average. So that's why I will not ask you that. You know that it's average. So AVG, so into brackets, salary. Then we give it alias as average salary. So we give it alias as average salary, comma. Then minimum, I know you will know that is simple. So minimum salary. Don't forget that because salary is here and it has salary column. So that is why that is where I got that from. So this will be minimum salary. So I'm writing it in a professional way now, and I'm still going to put comments to it as well, so that in case anybody wants to read my code, they will be able to understand it. So we have maximum salary. So now we are done with our columns. So let me put comments. So here is to fetch all the columns needed. is to fetch all the columns needed. So we start with the department table. So this is the department table. So we start with the department table. So we say from departments, from employees. Don't forget that you have to put the schema, employees dot departments. Now, last week, I also taught you aliasing our table. So let's alias this table as D. And so that means at the back of this, I have to come and put D dots. And at the back of this, I have to come and put D dots. You can see that it has already, because I have aliased it here, so it has already seen it. So from employee.department D, now remember that I said department table does not directly link to the employee table. So we have to first of all join it with the demt emp. So let's attempt to join it. So let's say inner join. So what are we inner joining with? We are inner joining with the demt help table. So let's call this DE. Let's call that table DE. So on, that is their common column. Their common column here is what? Department number. So on D dot department number equals to DE. So that's the essence of using alias. Equals to this table, which is what? DE dot department number. That is DE. This is the other table. So this one will be what? DE. DE dot department number. Now, we can now join it again with the what? The employee table. But look at this place. I didn't add the schema. So let me add the schema here because it's not going to work. So then again, we inner join again. So we inner join again. What do we inner join with? So let's inner join it with the employees table. So dot employees on the employee number. There's employee number here, and there is what? Employee number in the demt help table. So on, so let's call this E. That is, let's call the employee table, let's alias it as E. So this one will be E dot employee number. So let me copy this. On E dot employee number equal to DE dot employee number. DE dot employee number. This is DE, our other table here. Now, so let's also join it with the salary table. So if we want to join with the salary table now, how do we go about that? So we say inner join again. Inner join employees dot salary, and we call the salary S. I mean, we alias it as S. So average salary here, S dot salary, minimum salary S, maximum, because I have aliased it. So when you alias a table and you do not refer to it, and you don't refer to it back in the column, it's going to give you an error. So, but it is of good practice when you are joining tables together, you must always alias every table you have. It's very, very important. You have to alias every table you have so that your code will recognize where it's going to pick that columns when you alias the table. And the essence of alias is so that I will not carry all these employees the salary and come and carry it here, dot salary. It's not going to make it will make the code to look neat. So that's the essence of using an alias. So now we have joined with the salary, and so we can say that where s dot salary, that is greater than 0, that is every of the salary is greater than 0, obviously. Now I told you that when you are using, anytime you are using aggregate functions like count, minimum, maximum, and the likes, you have to use group by. Anytime you are using an aggregate function, you have to use a group by function. So let me say group by. So you have to group by all the columns that are here, except the aggregate functions. You have to group by all the columns that are here. So group by department number. What did I put? So group by department number and group by department name. So group by department number, comma, department name. So let's attempt to run our code now. Employees, the salary does not exist. Yes, it does not exist because look at what I wrote. It says employees, the salary doesn't exist because the table here is salaries. So what I wrote was wrong. So this has to be salaries. The table name I wrote was wrong. The table name I wrote was wrong. So let me run it again. Now it's already running the table for us. So you can see running here. So anytime you have aggregate function, most of the time it takes time before it runs. While we are waiting for our code to run. Yeah, okay. You have put it. I didn't see that you put select count employee numbers. Yeah, total number of employee from employee salary. That's correct. Oh, lost connection. What happened? Let me run it again. This is not an error. It just says lost connection to my SQL server during the query. So it's not an error. And anytime you are making use of a lot of aggregate functions, there's possibility still running. There's possibility that your system will be slow. There's possibility that the system is going to be slow. So it's still giving the same thing. So let me attempt to reduce the aggregate functions that we have here. Let me just change it to let me change it alone to count. Let us first of all calculate counts and see what it gives us. Or yeah. So it's the server that is running If I should restart the server, it's going to work actually, because it's saying lost connection to my SQL server during the query. Although if I should restart the server, it's going to work. If I should restart the server. So you can check the type of error you have here, which is saying lost connection. Yeah, okay, still lost connection. Okay. I think is the problem of the server now. Okay, select star. Let me just say one table alone. Star employee dot. Let me test it with one table alone. Yeah, I think it's because of all the aggregate functions that I have here. I think it's because of all the aggregate functions that I have here. So let's fetch this first without using the group by. Let's see it first without using the group by. Okay. Now you can see that it ran. So obviously is those aggregate function that is if I restart my this my SQL workbench, is going to work. Okay. Let me reduce the conditions. I don't want that. So group by. Okay, so I've put counts. I don't know why it's doing that, but it should run. Absolutely, it should run. Okay, I think I see where the problem lies. I have not joined the salary on the employee number. That's where the problem is. I've not joined. Maybe I joined it and I deleted it. I've not joined it on the employee number. Yes, that's where the problem is. Yes, I've not joined it. I joined this on debt number, but I didn't join the salary on it. So that's why it's not fetching out anything. I think that's where the problem is. Let me run it again. I think probably when I was typing, that was when I forgot to do that. But I think it should run now. Yeah, so it has run. So as you can see, we have the department number, department name, total number of employees for each of those departments. These are the total number of employees. So let me remove this. Now it's giving error here because I have to put the a comma here. So let me run it again and let me say where salary is greater than S0 group by this. So let's run it again. So it has finished running. So for each department now, so for the department, for the sales department, this is the average salary, this is the minimum salary, and this is the maximum salary. For the production department, this is the total number of employees, This is the average salary, this is the minimum salary, and that's the maximum salary. So before I move on, we have, no, it's not limited to 50 rows. No, it's not because of that. I think I fixed the issue. It was because of the I didn't link, or maybe I typed it. Maybe it got deleted when I typed enter. It was because of that. I didn't link the salary table. I didn't join it with the column. So that's why I could not reach the server at that time. So now, this is not ordered by anything. So if we want to order by department name, that is, or we want to order by the highest number of the total number of employees. So how do we go about that? All you need to do is to just say order by. So you just say order by total number of employees. So order by total number of employees. Now, if you look at this place, you will observe that, yeah, I think it is even ordered by total number of employees here, because it was ordered by from the highest to the lowest. So can we reorder it from the lowest to the highest? And if it is from the lowest to the highest, that will be what? In ascending what? Ascending order. So then what happened is that this one will come first. So let's test it now. The finance department is going to come first. So as we are waiting for it to run, if you have any question, just type it on the chat box. If you have any question on what I am doing, if you have any question, just put it on the chat box. Yes, as you can see now, the lowest is now the first. The lowest total number of employees is now the first. Now, you can order by, for example, here now, if you can also you can order by as many things that you want, and you can add it to the ordered by. So if you want it to be sorted first by the total number of employee, followed by the department name, or followed by the average average salary, so you can do that. So what it does is it will first of all sort by the total number of employee, and before moving to the average number of salary. For example, let's sort by the total number of employees alone. And so let's now sort by total number of employees and department name and see if there are differences in it. And obviously there will be some differences, because it will first of all sort by total number of employee, then compare it together. So I've gone for an interview before, and what they meant was that if there is a tie, so what the question stated was order by so column, when I was writing the SQL code. So in the SQL code, they said order by so column. However, if there is a tie, then sort by this. So what they meant is you should sort by two. What they meant in that test for me was that I should sort by two columns. Eventually, I got the job by the grace of God. But what they meant was that I should sort by two columns, because what they said was if there is a tie. So that is what it means. So they want to know whether you actually understand it. So when you are sorting by two things is if there is a tie, then it is going to sort by the second column. That is what it means. So the question stated that if there is a tie, sort by this then. So what it means is sort by two columns. So that is what it means. So if there is a style, sort by the second column. So it doesn't mean that you should sort by the second column in it. What it means is you are going to sort with two columns, but the first one comes first. So let's sort with, let me copy this now. So let's sort with, and we compare the both outputs together. So let's sort as well with the department's name. So what it does is that if there is a tie, then it will now sort with department's name. So let's see if there's going to be differences between both outputs. Let me see if I have any question. Please drop your question in case you have any question. Drop your questions in the comment box. I really wish we could go into the case statements today, but because of time. What happened? Which error is this one again now? Lost connection during the query. It's not supposed to lose any connection. It's not supposed to lose any connection. It's not supposed to lose any connection during the query. At least I didn't change anything. Kindly drop your questions in the comment chat if you have any question. It's still running. Why is it saying lost connection? There are no errors. Sometimes this MySQL server could be. Okay, let me run by this alone then. I mean the previous one. Yeah, that one ran. So why is it now giving problem with this? Why is it giving problem with department name? Okay, now take a look at it. It has run as well. So take a look at it. Let's see if there are differences between both. So we have finance, human resources, quality management, finance, human resources, quality management, marketing. The last one here is development, production. Okay, there are no differences because it's not a very, there are no ties. If to say that we have ties in the total number of employees, the next thing it's going to sort with is the department name. So for example, if your stakeholder now sent you, if your stakeholder sent you an email that can you uh, can you sort it by the total number of employees? And if there are ties with the total number of employees, then sort with the department name. So you know that you are sorting with both columns. So they might not say it directly, that's sort with total number of employees, although that one for internal stakeholders, they will tell you directly that sort with total number of employee and department. But if you go for an interviewer might want to test your knowledge of whether you know how sorting works in SQL, and he will just say that just like I was tested, they will just tell you, I wrote the code. So it's not like I was asked, I wrote the code. I was given their system to write the code. So they will just say if there is a tie, then sort with this. And I ran the code on their system. So it's not like you can copy or use it or Google it. I was given the system like this and I ran the code on their own system by itself. So it depends on your knowledge. They want to test your knowledge with sorting in SQL, which is very, very important that you understand. So I can add other columns that is going to sort by. So it is when you are in that order, so it's going to start with the total number of employee followed by department name. So let me put department name here first now. Let me put department name here first. Now, note that it started with finance here, followed by HQ and blah, blah, blah. But now I want to first of all sort with department name, then followed by the total number of employee. So what is it going to give to us? Let me run it now. So it's going to start with department name first. It's only if there is a tie, that is when it will move to the total number of employees. So you need to understand that one very, very well. So even if you are given 3 columns to sort with, and you don't understand the first one you will start with, then you might need to ask your stakeholder, okay, please, which one do you want it to come first? So you can see here now, it's starting with customer service because that I made it in ascending order. Customer service is first, ABC. And here, it started with what? With the lowest total number of employee, which is finance. So I've demonstrated it to you now, how it works. Yes, it could be there should the ascending not be in front of the total number of employees instead of being in front of department name. Yes, it's possible. You can put it there and you can put it at the back as well. That is, what you are saying is, should this, but already, is already putting it in ascending order, so I don't need to put it there, except I change this to descending order. It's already putting it in ascending order here. This is already putting it in ascending order, but it can work as well. It's already putting it in ascending order because that is what I want. And if I want this to be in descending, that is what it's going to be as well. But the order, when you are sorting with 2 columns, it starts with the smallest first. And so you don't need to put ascending in front. That was why I didn't put ascending in front. Do you understand? If you are ordering with 2 columns, when you are ordering with 2 columns, let me type it. Let me type it as a comment. When you are ordering with 2 columns, when ordering with 2 columns, it starts with the lowest, which is like the ascending first. But when you are ordering with 1 column, the default is when you are ordering with 1 column, the default is always, the default is descending. That is the highest first. So when you are ordering with 2 columns, the default is ascending. So you don't need to put ascending when you are ordering with 2 columns because it reads that it's ascending, except you want it to be in descending. So you don't need to put it there, except you want it to be in descending order. So have I answered your question, please? So now we could also, what if we just want to look at the average salary that are above 50,000 naira. So what are we going to use? Let's add it to this. What are we going to use? We just want average salary that are above 50,000 naira. Let somebody chat it, put it on the chat box. We want the condition that the average salary should just be above 50,000 naira. What are we going to use? I taught you last week. Oh. Don't Google it. I give you 1 minute. So if nobody chats it, then I'm now going to tell you the interpretation. That's why I said we need to write different codes. So that is how you will know the how to use all those functions that I taught you. That is how you know it. So I said we just need average salary that is greater than 50,000 naira pounds. Average salary that is greater than 50,000 pounds. That is, we don't need okay, let me say average salary that is greater than 70,000, because we have some of it here. So how do we go about it? It's already 1 minute. So I'm not going to allow you to chat it again. You might have Googled it. Now, that is what I told you. The where function is not going to work, which is a condition. It's not going to work. And the reason why it's not going to work is because it has an aggregate function. The where clause here is not going to work because it has an aggregate function. That is, I said where the average salary. So if I should say where the average salary, and I say, okay, and average salary is not going to work. Average salary, S dot average salary is greater than 70,000. It's not going to work. And why is it not going to work? You can see it here. You can see that it has even given me error, because this is AVG is an aggregate function. So you can go for an interview and they will ask you that what's the difference between a where clause and an having clause. So a where clause is used for a normal function, where an having clause is used for aggregate functions. You don't need to cram it, and just give them an example, just like I've stated here now. So where salary is greater than 0, that's a normal condition. But having this, and it has to come, don't forget I gave you the order. It has to come after the group by function. So we say having average salary that is greater than having average salary, having average salary that is greater than 70,000. Yes. Having, why is it giving error? Yeah, having average salary that is greater than 50,000. So order by than 70,000. So having average salary that is, yes, that's it. So it was because I put a comma there. That was why it was giving error. So if I should put this, because some of you might say, oh, it's because I put comma. It's not going to work because this is an aggregate function. It's not going to work in the where clause. Let's test it. You see that it's going to give us an error. It's not going to work for an aggregate function. You can see invalid use of what? Of group function, because I put it in the what? In the where clause. So let me delete this now. So that is where the having clause comes in, because it is an aggregate function. So having AVG, so let me run this now, and it's going to run it for us. So we are going to have only average salary that is greater than 70,000 pounds. And don't forget that we have 55,000 here, 59,000 here, 57,000 here, 59,000. So the ones that we are expecting now is marketing, sales, finance, and yeah, I think those four alone. Oh, why is it saying lost connection now? Let me run it again. Do we have any other question? Yes, you can see it has run. So you see here, we have what? Finance, marketing, and sales. Finance, marketing, and sales. And it was ordered by the total number of employees. So, no, the 70,000 should not have a comma. The 70,000 should not have a comma. It shouldn't. Yes, that was why it gave an error. The 70,000 should not have a comma, because the reason why the 70,000 should not have a comma is here, the 70,000 is not having any comma. So it should not have a comma. So you can see that I have brought out the condition now. So let me run through what we have done again today. So I said that the first thing you have to look at is how many columns was requested for, which is the department number, the department name, the total number of employee, the average salary, the minimum salary, and the maximum salary. So then we fetch out the columns and we gave it alias, and we joined. This was what we did last week. We joined all the tables together. So by joining all the tables together, we have to make use of aggregate function, because we have already had some functions here, which is count, minimum, maximum, and the likes. So we have to make use of aggregate functions. And I introduced that, okay, what if they now said, you have sent them the list, they now said, oh, please, can you fetch out for us average salary that departments that are earning above 70,000 pounds per month. So all you need to introduce is just this having clause. So condition above 70,000 pounds. Then you can order by anything, but this is how the order is. So it has to start from select. So from select to the where condition, from where condition to group by, from group by to having clause, and from having clause to the order clause. So tomorrow, next week, sorry, we are going to go into some case functions where you want to have some conditions like case functions. How do you introduce case functions in SQL? That is, how do you introduce conditional statements in SQL? So let me make this announcement again. Those of you that you have showed interest that you want to do 1-minute video, how you have enjoyed the class, kindly contact me this week before the end of the week and send your video across to me. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed the class, just give me a thumbs up. I will send the YouTube video to you in the next 24 hours. So thank you very much. At least I wrote like maybe 15 lines of code today. Is that? Yes. That's close to 22 lines of code. 11 to 32, that's 21 line of code. Sometimes I could write 1,000 lines of code in SQL. So you are going to get there, don't worry. But I just showed you like how to interpret question, how to interpret when you have some, how to interpret all the functions that I taught you last week, so that it will not be like I taught you function and you don't know how to interpret them. And so I had to write a long query today. I believe that the class was worthwhile. So thank you very much. I'll see you guys next week. Bye for now. Thank you.